Welcome back to the 513 podcast. I'm Nick Nickel, also known as Bengals Storm. I'm here alone today, but I'm here with a very special guest from Oklahoma Sooner, Buffalo Bill, Arizona Cardinal, signed with the Bengals this offseason. Cody Ford, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. Great having you in this culture, in this city, on this team. It's great having you, but yeah, man, just let's get started off the questions, all right?
All right, let's get it.
All right, the first thing I want to ask you is just straight up, why did you decide you want to go to Cincinnati, and how was the whole process of making it of just signing with us in free agency?
Um, Ultimately, I wanted to get back to winning. I wanted to be a part of a winning program again, winning organization. Um, and it was also one of the teams that was offering me an opportunity to play. So that was like huge into my decision making was who was going to give me like a truthful opportunity to play versus like we say that we're going to give you opportunity, and then the opportunity never comes. And obviously, we're only in OTAs and stuff right now, so that's not really. Not saying that it's not true right now, but I'm just saying like just the initial conversations, the initial meetings with the coaches and stuff. Their word has been backed up on that. So like that's the beauty of it. I can tell that this team and this organization are people of their word and integrity. So that's like really like what I really look for into like who I want to play for and stuff. And you know, getting back into the winning culture, means more. I get to get back into an organization that like holds themselves to like a standard and has expectations of the players and whatnot, and it goes from the top to the bottom. It goes from the owner to the GM to the head coach, all the way down to the last man on the roster. Um, the locker room standard and the locker room culture that I've heard about from previous Bengal players that I've talked to um, had nothing but great things to say about the city, the coaches, and everything in between. So yeah.
Can you discuss about the other teams? Like, what other teams offer you a contract and said we'd give you an opportunity?
Um, there wasn't many teams that actually offered up a contract. Uh, the team, like there was a few teams that I had talked to and had been in talk to
Mm-hmm.
even before free agency had started. I mean, a couple teams. I'm not gonna say names, but a couple teams from like the NFC West, NFC South, AFC West. It was
All
all
right. I mean, I think I can take a good guess what teams they were, but
over.
uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. I mean, was it like a just an opportunity effect, or was it what some Bengals like to call it, the Joe Burrow effect?
I guess they go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think any team's a one man show,
Mm-hmm.
nor will any team ever be a one man show. But you got that guy on the team, and all of a sudden, the city, and the team hit a complete 360. So they go hand in hand.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I see what you mean with that. All right. So next question I have: in your time with the Arizona Cardinals and a lot of time with Buffalo, you were playing guard, and then reports came out early on that we're not signing you as a competition at left guard. It's going to be at right tackle. Can you explain Was that a part of the reason you wanted to sign here, and was it? And how do you feel about making that adjustment again?
Yeah, that also was part of the decision making, was being able to play tackle again. Um, that's what I was drafted as. That's what I played in college. And that's also like where I like to play the most is tackle. Um, I've always been a guy who says like, wherever you play me, I'll play. But whenever I'm given the choice, I always choose tackle.
I mean, as a offensive tackle myself, I choose tackle as well. But moving on with the right tackle debate, how do you feel so far in this right tackle competition? Obviously, there's Jackson Carman, who's also making the switch to right tackle, Jonah Williams, who could be back any week now, and Lel Collins, who's making steady progress. How do you feel you're doing in that competition?
Uh, I kind of keep it in within myself.
Mm-hmm.
I control the things I can control. Uh, I don't want to look into like what could happen or what may not happen. So I look within, and plus we're only you know we're still in OTAs,
Mm-hmm.
so there's a lot of factors that still are at play right now, and until those factors come into play, we really truly don't know. So it's all about right now. It's all about continuing to learn the system, learning the techniques, um, building like relationships in the locker room, getting in and taking in what Coach Pollock is saying, and learning how he coaches, learning how he talks, and things like that.
I mean, with what you're saying, that was actually going to be my next question. Can you talk about your experience with Frank Pollock so far and how he's been doing with you?
Uh, he's like I said, we're still fresh in OTAs.
Yeah.
Um, but like from what I'm seeing is that he's a coach who like actually coaches. He doesn't just say things and then expects you to do them. And then like if you don't do them, it's like he's like down your throat. I mean, he every coach is down your throat. It just
Mm-hmm.
depends on how they do it, But he's like a coach who coaches like deep with like coaches deep, and he's also a guy who tells you the why. Why we're doing this, why we're going to do this, why we do it this way and not this way. Um, and he's like a very detailed coach as well. I met with him a few times during the pre-draft conversations. I think he was with the Jets at the time, and every time I left the meeting with him, I was like to myself, I could definitely play for a coach like that, And that was off of like the very first few conversations.
I mean, a lot of linemen have had huge praise with Pollock, whether it was his time with New York or Miami, or so obviously great hearing it from you that you're just learning so much already. We're not even a month into OTAs, but
Right.
so next question I have is your time with Oklahoma. You played one season with Joe Mixon, is that right?
Yeah. Maybe it
And
was two though. Maybe it could have been two,
how many with Orlando?
three.
All right. So how does it feel that you're back with having the Oklahoma Sooners just invading Cincinnati now?
It's awesome. Uh, Especially with Orlando. Like I said, like we spent 3 years together in Oklahoma, and I mean, at Oklahoma, we built such a relationship, that this is the first time, and never know how things shake out. It could be the last time we play together, but we haven't played together since 2017, and you wouldn't tell that we didn't play with each other every day in between that. That's just like the relationship that we built. And like when I first came to Oklahoma, he like took me under his wing and showed me the ropes, especially like playing under Coach Beatonbow. He like told me how it was gonna be. He told me what he was gonna expect, and he told me like the like real realness of like how to make myself be a ball player at Oklahoma. And I mean, he was kind of like a little big brother to me while I was there. You know, he took me to get my first haircut. Like I asked him, I said, hey, bro, I need a haircut. Where I go? And he took me to the barbershop, and I mean, I used that same barber for the next 6 years. You know, so that and it was like everything in between that, from ball to a little bit of life to a little bit of just little things. Like that's how he helped me out. And then getting able to play with Joe again, like I said, we didn't spend that much time together, but coming from Oklahoma, it's always a brotherhood, no matter where you end up, how long you spend time with each other. So it's really good to get back with Orlando and Joe, and like even with Joe, we kind of like we don't have the same relationship as me and Orlando, but like you can just tell like yo we've been in the same locker room together before.
Speaking with Orlando, I know you probably had your like visit with Cincinnati pre-scheduled before the Orlando signing happened. So like, were you just like on your phone, knowing you had to go to Cincinnati the day after, and then just out of nowhere you see that one of your best friends, maybe a teammate with you, were you surprised, or did he like tell you beforehand about anything, or how did that go?
Nah, I think I was on the plane and I got the notification and I was like, man, no way. Like that's I was so excited. Also just excited for him for like what his deal was and everything, whether it was here or whether it was anywhere else. Like seeing him get that deal, he deserved that so much. But no, I was so excited when I saw the notification. And I mean, even before I had signed, like we had a few, like me and my agent and them had a few talks with Cincinnati before I signed, and I kept telling them I was like, hey man, I could end up in Cincinnati, like let's go together, like it would be lit. And so like I don't think he went on my accord by any means, but
But you could take the credit.
yeah, I'm secretly take the credit for between me and him. I'm always gonna be letting them know, like I got you here, right?
I mean, personally, I don't think a single Bengals fan expected that move.
Right.
Like, it was like 3 days into free agency, nothing happened on our front. Fans getting a bit rattled up.
Yeah.
They're like craving some moves, and then out of nowhere they get the biggest free agent. I mean, and then you and Nick Scott the day after, that was an insane. But yeah. So last question I have is you, like, the locker room obviously should know about the whole ping pong thing, the rankings, how seriously they take that. How have you done in it so far?
I put myself last because I haven't been on the table once. Because I see some of those guys on the table and they are there for 45 minutes, and I mean they are sweating. I've never seen people sweat playing ping pong. I mean, yeah. So I'm last. I don't. And then the guys who keep playing, I'm for sure not playing them because they are into it, and I don't want any parts of that. I may play, you know, a guy who it's his first time playing as well, just to get my feet wet. But no, I'm definitely probably dead last when it comes to ping pong.
Just grab an undrafted rookie, beat them, and say, I got an undefeated record, retire on top.
Right. I
Yeah.
may, I may even grab Orlando. I haven't seen him on there yet, so I may grab him.
Okay. That'd be interesting. I want to know how that would go, you versus Orlando. But
I'll play, man.
yeah, I think that's all I have for you today, Cody. But thanks for hopping on, and thank you for listening to the 513 podcast, everyone. Make sure to subscribe and make sure to watch Cody here. Hopefully win the right tackle spot and just crush it in Cincinnati this year.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me.
Yep.